Good morning, campers. This is James Donnelly of theshadowgallery.info, and it's 5:42 in the a.m. on, wow, the 3rd of January of 2011. Yeah, it kind of blows your mind, doesn't it? Anyway, um, so we're going to take a little time today to talk about a film that I just saw, which is a film called The Fighter. David O. Russell's newest film with Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, Melissa Leo, Amy Adams, Jack McGee. A lot of you probably don't know Jack McGee by name, but you've seen him in about 1 billion different movies and TV shows. Those of you who watch FX or watch Rescue Me know him as, and I hate myself for not remembering this because Rescue Me is one of my favorite shows, like, ever. He was the chief of the firehouse back through season 3 until, well, if you haven't seen the show yet, something happens. Season 2 or season 3, I don't honestly remember, but it was, yeah. Anyway, so The Fighter. Now, I've seen, I wouldn't say most. I don't know if I could say most of David O. Russell's films. I've obviously seen a few of them. I've seen Spanking the Monkey, which was his first film, and I thought that was pretty good. Introduced, Jeremy Davies to the world, who is like one of the, he's like the heir apparent to Crispin Glover, apparently, because he's just a weird, out there dude, and he's in, all of these weird out there kind of roles. You more than likely remember him as Daniel Faraday on Lost, in which I loved him, by the way. He was great on that show. And he's actually going to be the villain this upcoming season on Justified, on FX's Justified, which is one of my favorite new shows, because it's just awesome. Anyway, so the only other film that I remember seeing of David O. Russell's, excuse me, was Three Kings, which is a brilliant film. It's really great, and I would recommend it to anybody. And now we have, and then, he did I Heart Huckabees, which I never saw, quite frankly, because I never really had any interest in seeing. And he's done, I think, at least one or two other films. Couldn't really say. I can't really remember. It's strange. But anyway, so he's routine with Mark Wahlberg of Three Kings and I Heart Huckabees, and brought on board Christian Bale. Excuse me. This is, as I'm sure all of you know, based on a true story of, Mickey Ward and his brother Dickie, and Dickie was, the pride of Lowell, Massachusetts. He, fought Sugar Ray Leonard, and then, crack got in the way, and, basically, so younger brother. Anyway, what can I say about this film that probably hasn't already been said? It's like a really demented family not family. I don't mean like it's a family movie, like it's G-rated, but it's a film about family. One of the most fucked up families I think I've ever seen, and obviously people talked about this film, that it's, the story is ultimately it's about Mickey Ward, about Mark Wahlberg's character, but really the film belongs to Christian Bale. And I can say that without any hesitation, without any, people know that, I love Christian Bale, and have loved him ever since I saw him in, in Empire of the Sun back in 1987. and have followed his adult career, obviously with a great deal of enthusiasm. Um, it, it's it's too early to tell, I guess, but I mean it's really, obviously because nothing's been announced yet, but really just give Christian the Oscar right now. There's no other point. There's no role. I can guarantee you there's no role, no supporting role. Excuse me, let me say that. There's no supporting role that takes as much command of a film out there than Christian in this film. He is just brilliant. He's awesome. Um, I mean, aside from that, it's a very by the numbers boxing film. It is. If memory serves, this was originally going to be directed by Darren Aronofsky, who either produced it or executive produced it. But David O. Russell stepped in as the director. I think it was either because Darren Aronofsky was busy with Black Swan or The Wrestler, whatever. And those are two great films. I mean, I loved The Wrestler. I thought The Wrestler was great. As you know from watching these vlogs, I love Black Swan. I think that's a great film. But it's ultimately, like I said, a very by the numbers boxing film, with the exception of these characters and the characters of Dickie and Alice, the mother, played by Melissa Lea, who is awesome. She's really tremendous. And that's another really, really great supporting role. Mark is very good. He does a lot of acting with his face and with his eyes, which is something that I really respect. And when he's on, I should say. And Amy Adams, she looks great. She was very passable. I didn't see really anything special out of her in this film. I think that was one of the things I was a little disappointed by, because people talk about her like she's one of the next big things, and I didn't really see anything come out of her in this film that I couldn't see from another actress. Again, it's just it's disappointing, really, in a way. I mean, it's still a good movie, and I would definitely shut up. I would definitely recommend it for viewing for Christian's performance. Like I said, it's just it's a piece of entertainment. I don't think it really aspires to be much more than that, which is why I think a lot of the accolades that have been heaped onto the film are a little confusing to me. Because David O. Russell, at least in Three Kings, he's a very visual filmmaker, and there's not a whole lot striking about this film visually. It's a lot of stuff that's obvious, it's been cribbed from other filmmakers, and whether that's his intent or not, I don't know. If he's paying homage to other directors, that's his choice. But again, he's got his own style, he's got his own thing, but he just threw it away here in this film and just directed, a really paint-by-numbers boxing movie. There's nothing really very dramatic about the fight sequences themselves, except for the first one, where Mickey gets his ass pounded to a pulp. That was the most interesting boxing scene of the film. But again, it's not really about that. It's about this weird family, and eventually how they kind of fight through all their bullshit, and and do what they do in the movie. I just wish that there had been more of a Russell stuff. I wish there had been a lot more to this film. But see it for Christian Bale, because hand him the Oscar now. He's that good. He's that fucking good in this movie. And finally. So anyway, that's it for now. Next time, we'll probably talk comics, talk a little bit of games, and this is James Donnelly of the Shadow Gallery signing off. Check out the website, and bye-bye.